Should be up and going now. There we go.
I need to check on my wife real quick because it's still out there crying.
Oh, the baby is?
Okay.
Okay, we'll get started here in just a minute, guys. We're just going to check on the kiddo, and then we'll be ready to roll, baby.
Let me text her first. I just want to make sure because usually by now he's in bed.
No explanation needed. Delirious dad comes first.
Can you not hear him screaming in the background?
No, that sound canceling on that's really good.
How about that fan?
Nope. Telling you, whatever sound canceling software that Discord's using is like really good.
Pretty cool.
I've been loving it. It's gonna be funny. Mine doesn't make any sense. My little saying that I'm about to do. I mean, it will later, hopefully, but. You let me know when you're ready for me to share out, because I don't want to share to everybody until we're ready to go.
Go ahead. I haven't heard back from her, but I hear her in there, so I think as long as you don't, I just don't want him messing anything up by screaming in the background.
Right. Okay.
Every day I walk alone, I see myself on the grand old throne, but it's not true, cause it's all in my head, all in my head.
It's all in his head, Hunter.
What's all in his head?
This guy's singing. It's all in his head, bro.
I can't hear it.
Can you now?
No.
That's a shame.
I mean, I don't have our stream pulled up right now. I probably would if I pulled the stream up right now, but I don't have it up right now.
Yeah, because you don't get the music through the Discord, right? I need to figure out how to make that happen, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Alright, we'll get it going here. I'm sharing out and then we'll go.
Okay.
Wish they made it a little bit easier to share on here. Okay. We all shared up, son.
Nice.
You know what I think it is? Just figured it out on the Discord. I think I just need to share that. Now see if you can hear on there. When you open
Like pull up the stream.
the Discord video that I'm sharing. See if you can hear it then. No? Nothing? That's
No.
depressing. Alright, no biggie.
Yeah, it's not a big issue.
Yeah.
Never have been able to hear it anyway, so
Alright.
I don't know what I'm missing.
Yep. Alright, we'll get started here. This episode is brought to you by Click Gaming, a freelance esports tournament company based out of Oklahoma. If you're located in the U.S. and need esports services, this is the ultimate gaming company for you. Contact Johnny Weaver at icychiller@att.net. That's ICYCHILLER. Tonight on the Delirious Dads Gaming Podcast.
Villains, voices, and video games, all from the past.
This one's for the history books. Wait, nope, they tore it out. Oh, nope, they put it back.
And now, the Delirious Dads Gaming Podcast.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. It's the Delirious Dads Gaming Podcast, episode 71. And tonight,
71?
that is right, 71. 71
Sorry.
weeks in, baby.
Had to interrupt you since Ryan's not here.
Yeah, well, somebody's got to do it, right? So
That's right.
You did the right thing, keeping the tradition alive. Well, I'm Clinton Stanley, and that beautiful voice that you just heard interrupting me, that's the blonde-haired, blue-eyed Hunter Venable. Hunter,
That's me. That's
welcome.
me. Thank you very much. Glad to be here, as always.
Yeah. And Ryan will be joining us as we suspect. He had to take an emergency phone call, but he will be back when he can. But let's go ahead and just get right into it. A lot going on in the gaming scene this past week. We've had some shutdowns, some new releases. Kind of crazy. We did last week, we went over the PlayStation 5 games reveal. So if you didn't listen to that one, guys, go on back and listen to episode 70, where we take on PlayStation's games reveal and kind of put our thoughts and our spin on what we felt the event had to offer. And Hunter, welcome back to the good old state of Oklahoma. Took you a little
Thank you, man.
sabbatical.
Yeah, we had a little trip out to North Carolina. It was about 5 days long, and we went out to surprise Natalie's mom. It's her mom and her dad's anniversary this last week, and so you should have seen her face, man. It was cool. I put Rhett in my father-in-law's arms, and he walked in the house just with Rhett in his arms, and I was behind with the camera, so
it's beautiful.
he turned the corner into the kitchen, and my mother-in-law was just like, "What?" She's on the phone with one of her friends. She's like, I gotta go right now, I gotta go. And she's just freaking out. And I asked her, I said, "Did you realize what baby that was in his arms?" And she said, "At first, honestly, I didn't know what was going on. I just saw that baby, and then I realized who it was."
Yeah.
And me and Natalie followed him up right after. So it was a cool surprise. We had a great time with family. It was a nice reset. We were chilling in the pool every day. So
that's nice.
It's a good time.
You can't beat that.
No.
And Natalie's dad had a good Father's Day, obviously.
Yeah. Had all his kids there. So
yeah. Now, how was the trip? I mean, for all the dads out there, all the Delirious dads,
man,
how is the trip with a baby? You know, what preparation goes into, taking a baby on a plane? Because sometimes it's hard enough to just go to a restaurant,
right?
So let alone go on a plane trip.
We did download the entire 5th season of Little Einsteins.
Okay.
And that works to some extent. He didn't even get through one episode, so it's kind of overkill to get the whole thing, but I'm sure we'll use it in the future. But it's honestly, if I'm real with myself, the stress that comes with it is all brought on by yourself. Because I was really worried about it the whole time, and I was worried before we went, thinking, of how we were going to keep him calm. I don't know. I'm sure there's some of you dads out there that have babies that are in the stage right now, but he screams just like there doesn't need to be anything wrong. He just screams when he wants to scream.
Yeah.
So that was my like big worry and issue is like, if this kid just wants to go on a scream rampage, I don't have anything to help. And these guys on this plane are just going to, want to kill me. But it worked out. He slept really well on the big flight. We had a 2-hour flight, and we had one 45-minute flight because we flew into Charlotte and then Charlotte to Greensboro.
Okay.
And so the long flights, thank God he slept on the long flights. And the first on the way there, he slept about an hour, and then on the way back, he slept about an hour. So
okay.
He was unsettled. At some point, he got tired of it, because he is only 11 months. But it worked out. We kept him busy, and it was a little stressful. But in the end, it was good. I mean, we made it. So.
Well, did you get any gaming in at all, or did you take the Switch?
Oh yeah, I took my Switch. I played a lot of Mario.
Okay. Which was it? Mario Odyssey.
Odyssey. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I played a lot of Mario Odyssey. I borrowed from my friend, and then I have Zelda too, but Breath of the Wild. But I haven't played that in a little while. That game is so big, and there's just so much to it. It's just overwhelming sometimes.
Yeah.
You're just like, I want to play something a little more soft-hearted, and that I don't have to focus so hard on.
Well, and you can put it down easier, right? You can kind of pick it up and go.
Exactly. Like Mario Odyssey, it's just like you can pause in the middle of a level and you're cool. I mean,
okay. So now that you've had some experience, because I think when you first got the Switch, we didn't really have much of a report on your end because you only had the workout game. So how was so far, now that you've got to dig your teeth into it, what do you think of Mario Odyssey?
I love it. Here's the thing too is, and for me, I love the originals so much that when they started coming out with some of these newer 3D Marios, I wasn't a fan of them. I thought they were kind of silly, I guess, but this one really has made me kind of a believer of all the Marios, and so I really enjoy it. I think it's cool how they do the levels in this one, and it is, it is goofy how you can go to a world and ride a T-Rex, and then you go to the next world and it's a water world, and it's just cool,
Yeah,
it's really cool. It is fun to beat the levels, but at the same time, it's more of a laid back, relaxing game. Like I said,
Mhm.
you know, it's a platformer, and it's not really like I never felt like in Zelda, I could get legitimately stressed if I'm like trying to really get past a certain level, you know, to
Right.
get
Yeah, it's
the
Mario, so it
world
doesn't
is
take
so
itself too
big.
serious.
Yeah, but I enjoy it. And like I said, I haven't played a ton. I literally have that workout game. I have Odyssey and I have Zelda right now. But
Okay.
those three can keep me busy for a long time. So, and just the fact of having the Switch is an awesome. If anybody's out there thinking about getting a Switch, it's worth it just for the fact of being able to take like a full game on
Hmm.
travel with you.
Yeah.
Like, you know, for instance, like on a plane, I remember, you know, a couple years ago when I was a little younger, even with my parents, having the mobile games.
Hmm.
But all the mobile games get so old after a while because you're doing the same thing over and over again, you know?
Right. Right.
Um, and so having something like this where you have options, and to be honest, I didn't get to play it that much on the plane because of my son, but at my step parents, my my in laws' house, I was able, you know, on the downtime to just whip it out and play some video games, and they don't have any, you know, consoles there, so that was cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
To get my gaming fix in. So if you're thinking all that to say, if you're thinking about getting a Switch, it's a good investment. It really is. I like Nintendo. I always have liked Nintendo. I had the Wii and everything, and so um, it's a good investment. I like it for sure.
Yeah. That's awesome. I really want a Nintendo Switch. It's just when to pull the trigger, because I want to pull the trigger once the
Right.
girls, or at least Claire, is old enough to play it with me.
Right, and you can have the Mario Party and stuff like
Hmm.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's super
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah. And by the way, shout out to Maurice Scott. Hey, brother.
What's
Thank
up,
you
Marie?
for thank you for joining in to the podcast. He actually came and watched us a little bit on one of our Valorant streams.
Valorant streams.
I think that was by the time you were out of town. He came and watched
Yeah,
us. So,
maybe
hmm
Momo. That's my friend I went to college with for a little while. So
yeah. Well, we appreciate the support, man.
yeah,
As far as our plans tonight for the podcast, we're doing some gaming news. We're going to discuss some Mixer news. We're going to discuss some Crash Bandicoot news. It's going to be a fun little news extravaganza. We're splitting it
yes.
up tonight, so we're doing myself, Hunter, and when Ryan gets here, he will share
I'm
his
here.
news. Boom! There he is. Welcome, Ryan.
Ta-da.
Here he is.
And then, guys, we're going to be doing a dive into Valorant. It's a PC only game, esports. Very competitive first person shooter. We're going to discuss that, give our review. I think we've all had enough time to play, and so we're going to discuss it, give you our thoughts, and give you our scores on what we think of Valorant. But with that said, let's roll on over to the gaming news and see what we got cooked up for everybody.
Let's get it.
I don't see you guys on Skype.
Oh, we're in there. Leaks for Geeks. All right, let's give Ryan a second to come up on video. I just sent you out a call, Ryan, on the Skype.
I realized that I had never connected the side laptop to the internet, so we just go ahead and roll, and I'll jump in when I can.
Okay,
Cool beans.
sounds good. What's that time, guys, for Leaks for the Geeks? The news for the dudes, or the dads,
That's right.
or the gals.
The D's and the G's.
Yeah, all that stuff. Yeah, so we're gonna get started. Hunter, you brought us some news.
I did.
talk
I
about
got a couple crispy things here. Some
Okay.
morsels.
Some little
So,
morsels. I like morsels.
Yeah. And so where to start, guys? Where to start? I'm gonna start with Halo Infinite.
Ooh.
So Halo Infinite teaser trailer came out, and it was real basic. It's just of a monitor-like screen that was sending out a message. And the Halo Infinite teaser seems like it's marking the return of the Banished. And if you're a Halo fan, you know what the Banished is. It is an ominous threat in the Halo universe. So it says ahead of the expected gameplay reveal during Microsoft July Xbox 2020 event, a short teaser for Halo Infinite has been shared on the game's official Twitter account. The teaser features the ominous warning from a member of the Banished, a splinter group from the series' main antagonist, the Covenant. The Banished first made its appearance in Halo Wars 2, which took place after the events of Halo 5. The Banished rejected the ideology of the Covenant, and they broke away from the Covenant. Basically, they split parts with them, led by I don't know how to pronounce this guy's name, Atriox. Halo Wars 2 chronicles the conflict between the Banished and the crew of the UNSC, which is what, if you guys don't know, that's Master Chief and his crew.
Mm-hmm.
All his clones.
Yeah, which eventually spilled over into the new Halo installation. So how this connects to Halo Infinite is still unclear, but it's a hint at the direction the sequel might be taking. And so basically it says it's going to be powered by a brand new engine called Slipspace. Halo Infinite is expected to be one of the highlights of the Xbox 2020 showcase. Although the exact date of the event has yet to be confirmed, Halo Infinite will launch for both Xbox One and Xbox Series X.
Ooh, okay.
Nice.
And just to quote what these guys said on this teaser trailer, it said, "The hour approaches, our forces occupy the ring. Within hours, it will be under our control. Humanity will burn. Their Brazen defiance will be but a memory. No more prophets, no more lies. We stand together, brothers to the end. We are his will. We are his legacy. We are the Banished."
I like that. So they're expecting that to be, so this Xbox event that they're talking about that's coming up is going to be our equivalent to what PlayStation just recently did, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
Sounds like it.
That is correct.
Okay. So that's going to be pretty cool. I mean, surely it'll be within the next couple months. I mean, because we're going right into the holiday season before you know it. We're already almost done with June. So I'm surprised they haven't nailed a date down yet when they're going to do that.
Yeah.
One of the things that popped into my head when you were reading that was I hadn't really given much thought to the fact that these games, pretty much all of them for right now, are going to be coming out for Xbox One and the new Xbox. But my question kind of starts to go, I wonder how long they'll continue making stuff for Xbox One. Because Xbox One is by no means behind the curve, right? I mean, I don't think that Xbox One or PlayStation 4 is feels like it's clunky or needs to be updated necessarily, if that makes sense. Though they've been out for a while, they both perform very well. And I think you're going to have a lot of people, at least for the first couple of years, who just want to keep playing their old gen console.
Mm-hmm.
That's funny you brought that up. Well, how long do you think that how long has Xbox One been out?
I think Xbox One's been 5 years or a little bit more, maybe. Yeah.
And I mean, that's a good amount of time. But the reason I say that is because my buddy came and stayed with me a couple weekends ago, and he was out to buy a 360 again because he wanted to get the NCAA games because they don't make them anymore.
Oh, yeah.
And so we went around and we found a 360, no problem. The one game he wanted is super rare. Like, people are selling it for a ridiculous amount of money on. It's the last NCAA game made, you know. So
oh, really?
You can find the ones.
And I probably had that one, so I should have kept it.
I do. I think it's still at my parents' house, actually, in the closet. But the thing is we looked at, and on GameStop.com, you can buy it for like $70, which is expensive, but people are selling it for like $250 on eBay and stuff like that.
Okay.
So anyways, all that to say is we found some of the older ones, like 2010. The last one they made was 2013.
Okay.
And I just was curious because I loved Guitar Hero. I was going around looking at these different places for like guitars for Guitar Hero and to
Right.
see what they had. Well, they had the games, but they didn't have any of the remotes.
Equipment.
Yep,
Yeah.
you got to be on
Equipment.
like Facebook and stuff to find that stuff.
And even we got it at Vintage Stock. They only had one Xbox 360 remote. They didn't even have any
Mhm.
more. And then we went to GameStop. Well, GameStop's restructured all their stuff. They don't have any of the old stuff either.
Yep, they don't
Yeah.
carry
Walmart didn't
that.
have it. So, like you said, the only place to find them right now is online, like on
Right.
Facebook or maybe
Yeah.
eBay, or maybe you can order on Amazon, new ones.
Mhm.
But that's just kind of crazy to think, you know. You say 5 years, but I mean, if we're honest with this, how fast does 5 years go, man?
It's
Well,
fast.
I mean, when we were young and kids, it felt like forever, right? It felt
Forever,
like
yes.
But yeah, it's definitely weird. You know, you mentioned that with 360 stuff going out. You know, my Super Nintendo that I have only has one controller, and I wanted
Mhm.
Claire to play a game with me one night. And so there's a little store up here down the road from me that does some. They're kind of like a mom and pop vintage stock type deal. It's actually
Okay.
a collaboration of they have a vape shop on one side and
Video
and
games.
then their video games are on the other part. It's kind
Right.
of it's still in the same room but separate sides. But anyway, he was selling. He didn't have the original Super Nintendo controllers, but they had these new controllers that were like replicas. Still
Oh,
work the
okay.
same way and everything. It was just that a company's started making replicas that look just like it. It's just
Right.
doesn't say Super Nintendo on it.
Did he have any Guitar Hero stuff? Because I'm still on the hunt.
I don't know. I could go up there and check. I haven't been up there since the Rona hit. So
And I know you guys in the comments saying, Hunter, they have Guitar Hero for PS4. No, it's not the same. It's not the same.
yeah.
They got the new guitars that all have solid colors, and you actually have to go on top and on bottom. I don't want all that jazz. I want the old blue,
The old
red,
flip-
green,
flip it and just
yellow,
Yeah.
the ones that makes you think you just like the best
Yeah.
guitar player ever in the world.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
what I want.
we weren't going for super realism. Okay, if we
Yeah.
want to go for super realism, we'll go buy a
Just play the
guitar.
guitar. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Amen
All
to
right.
that, brother.
So next on my list, this is just a quick one. I'm not going to go super into this, but Star Wars Episode 1 Racer is out now on PS4 and Switch. So pretty cool. It's not a remake. I mean, they've just made it possible to play on these platforms.
Right, it's more like a reformatted.
Yeah, so I looked
Yeah.
at the video game gameplay, and it still looks pretty rough. Okay, I mean back then when it launched, it wasn't, but now if you're
Right.
comparing it to some of the games, but I mean if you're out for nostalgia, you don't care. So, and this is definitely nostalgic. I remember playing this. I don't remember what it was on, but I definitely remember having this on one of my older consoles. So.
Yeah. You know, that's the thing of like a lot of things with as we've grown in these console generations. And I'm sure this just comes down to licensing.
Mhm.
But wouldn't it be awesome if you could just have a little arcade, like a Steam arcade, where you could download all the old games? You know, it would be worth it for me to spend $1 or $2 on an old school game from back in the day. You know,
Right.
if I knew I could buy it and have it on that that streaming platform or whatever,
Mhm.
something like Steam, where I know I can always get back to it.
Yeah.
That's why I've always been hesitant on buying these older retro games on like PlayStation or Xbox, because I know with the next gen console, I'm not gonna have it again, right?
Right.
So I'm sure that just comes down to licensing and people want to put in the time to port it over though to get it to work.
Mhm.
Right. Yeah, I'm with you, man. There's so many old games that I would just love to just be able to hop on and play anytime.
So this Star Wars Racer, is this like the pod racing that they did in the movie and stuff? And it was all, I remember this. So did this come out on PlayStation 2 back
I'm
in
pretty
the day?
positive, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's the
That's-
only console that I would have played it on because it looks like it's before Xbox 360's time.
Okay.
I
So
could be
they-
wrong.
So Star
But-
Wars pretty much, they just gave Xbox the shaft on that and was like, hey, we're going
Right.
to keep it on PlayStation and then we'll let Nintendo have a little piece.
Yeah,
Right.
probably. That's why I guess that would make sense too. Why it's not
Yeah.
on.
Which
So,
which does make sense because they've had those business dealings back then, you know, on
Mhm.
PlayStation, and they had done some Nintendo stuff with Nintendo. So,
right.
hmm
Yeah, because it's saying on here, I went down a little bit and it said it was followed by a sequel on PS2.
Okay.
So it may have been on. It says
So was it PlayStation then? We talking PlayStation?
it says something on here about PC and N64. So maybe it was N64.
Maybe that's what it was. Okay. Yeah.
I
That's
had
way
it.
back, baby.
I had an N64.
So
So that
this is on PlayStation 4. I'm thinking about going, and I might get that just because it's so stinking old.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be super cool. It's $15. I mean, that's.
Well, you know.
I feel like we could drop it a little more than that, guys. But
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah. If they'll
No,
hurry up
right.
and do another sell, we could get it for cheap.
yeah, for sure. All right, and speaking of cells, let's segue into this next one, and I'll be done here. I'll go through this quick because it's kind of a long article. But retro and remastered PS4 games are getting steep discounts this week on PS4. And I know, I'm sorry. I'm all PS4, it seems like, but look at my background. I'm a PS4 man. I'm a Sony guy, okay? So, PlayStation's annual Days of Play sale just ended. But if you're still looking for some great deals on PS4 games, the PlayStation Store has you covered. In addition to 2 bargain-focused sales that are still running until next week, PlayStation has kicked off a remastered and retro sale featuring deals on popular franchises such as Resident Evil, Borderlands, Devil May Cry, and more. The sale runs until July 2nd, which gives you 2 weeks to make your picks.
Okay.
There's a bunch of deals on the Resident Evil games. I'm just going to run through these real fast, okay, and give you some numbers here. Bayonetta and Vanquish 10th anniversary bundle is $30. Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, $20. Borderlands Game of the Year Edition, $12. Borderlands The Handsome Collection, $13.
Okay.
Burnout Paradise Remasters, $10. Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered, $16. Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy, $20. Devil May Cry HD Collection and 4SE Bundle, $22.49. The Disney Afternoon Collection, $5. Luminis Remastered, never heard of that, $7.49.
Okay.
Mark of the Ninja Remastered, $9. Mega Man Legacy Collection, 1 and 2 combo pack. Mega Man, that's cool. $15. Metro Redux is $7.49. Now that's cool because Metro Redux is actually Metro 2 2033 and Metro Last Night together.
Okay, so it's a combo pack.
That's a combo pack, 2 games for $7, and it's a highly rated game. Metro is. Okami HD is $10. Now here's our Resident Evil, all of our Resident Evil stuff right here. This is kind of the cool stuff, I believe, what's worth the sale in this thing. Resident Evil 2 Deluxe Edition, $23. Resident Evil 4, $8. Resident Evil 5, $8. Resident Evil 6, $8. So all those are $8 a piece. And you get the Resident Evil Deluxe Origins bundle, which is Resident Evil and Resident Evil 0 for $10.
That would be worth getting.
Yeah, so you could get, just pack out.
You just be Resident Evil'd out. Yeah.
Get ready for Village, baby.
Yeah, Shinumi 1 and 2, $12. This one I'm excited about too. Spyro, Reignited. Sorry, Spyro Reignited Trilogy, $20. I want to play that. And then Star Wars Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Outcast. Those are the best deals of this week. And so, yeah, man, that's a lot of games. And some
definitely.
good prices. I don't see any. There's only one on here that's $30 and nothing over $30. And so,
now that Spyro Reignited, that's the remaster, correct?
Yes, and I think
just like they did with Crash Bandicoot.
Yes, and it's a 3-game Spyro trilogy.
Cool.
So,
okay. Yeah.
That's a great price. $20 for that. I'm gonna go beg my wife to let me get Spyro.
I put money on the fact that some of these remasters and get re-release type stuff is getting at least partially done by AI right now, because I don't think it's any coincidence that we saw this AI technology about 8 months ago that really got big, And now it's just like old games, just getting pumped out, and they're getting pumped out for nothing a lot of times. $10, $15.
Well, unless
And
you're
so
Blizzard. If you're Blizzard, I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
These games, they're obviously not putting too much time into them, or they wouldn't sell them for that. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Right.
so it's got to be partially AI driven with these new systems, which is pretty cool to see.
Yeah. I'm kind of weird though. I'm like that guy even with movies where it's like, oh, you're gonna remake. I don't know. You're gonna remake Wizard of Oz, for instance. Like that's one that just to me shouldn't be remade.
Right.
We watch
a
it.
remake and a remaster is different, but yeah.
To me, it's kind of I guess maybe it's not so much different because you still have the same play style, but there's just something to that old coat of paint that you got.
Yeah.
Just like,
I don't know. Like if I'm watching Little Mermaid and I can watch Little Mermaid remastered, I'm going remastered.
Right.
I'm gonna watch those bright, vivid colors instead of that washed out. Like, is this really what we used to watch? Like, it's almost unbelievable.
Hey, the old Disney stuff still holds up though.
Yeah, it doesn't hold up to the new stuff. I'm not talking about old versus new. I'm talking about old versus re-brightened and refreshed old.
Oh, okay. You're just saying they go in and up-res it.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah,
they don't remake the show. They just make it better graphics,
I'm
a little bit
following you
sharper,
now.
and bright colors. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. You got to have some of that. You just don't want the old 4x3. Just,
right. That's right. Yeah.
Little clumps of chunks out of the little film, there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, I agree with that. But is a game remaster the same?
No.
That's the question.
No, like Resident Evil 2 was definitely not just sharper looking. You know what I mean? It wasn't just brighter colors. It was redone. But
yeah, that's like a complete overhaul.
Yeah, that specific one was redone well. So I don't really have any complaints. But yes, commonly it does take away some of the nostalgia when you play the redone one. I'd rather see them just port the old one over and let me have some fun.
Now here's a question.
I don't know, man. I think for Crash Bandicoot, like there's obvious differences in the graphics. Like even like some of the
but didn't
villains
didn't
are
they,
like super cool looking now.
Yeah, but didn't they give you the ability to like you go back and play it with the original graphics? Or am I wrong?
I don't know if they have. I haven't looked into that.
Not only that, the gameplay of the new Crash just looks better. That's more like the Disney movie comparison. It doesn't look like they changed anything about the way the game plays or the layout of the maps. It's just sharper, cleaner, brighter.
Sharper, yeah.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
The graphics that they've done they've upped graphics. They've definitely added to graphics of the characters so that they look like different. Like the crabs, for instance, on the very first level are so well done now that it's like there's no way. It looks like it's a new villain.
Right.
Well, I get that.
But I still love the because the layout's the same. The levels are the same. The sounds are the same. So it's nostalgic, but it's also like
I'm good with that.
It makes you drool because it's just so like, man.
That's like when I watched the preview. Clint might pull it up when we go to Crash Bandicoot news for tonight. The new Crash Bandicoot preview looks amazing. I think it looks great.
Yeah.
Well, you say that like I give that old World of Warcraft example for me when they did the zombies or the undead. There was one that looked really weird. Like it looked like he was just had like a black, like I don't know, black skin on his lower jaw. It just kind of looked weird. And then there was another one where there was like this thing hanging, but you never could tell what it was. Well, then when they updated their undead and brought them up to the current day standards, all of a sudden I realized that black thing was an iron jaw that was like bolted into the jaw, right? And then the thing hanging was the dude's tongue. He didn't have a jaw; it was just the tongue hanging out. But you never could tell back in the day because graphics were so bleh.
Right.
Right. Yeah, that's exactly right. Honestly.
So I guess I get that. You can see
about it. It's like clicking in my head. I'm like, oh my gosh.
You can see the vision of the original artist. That's what they were trying to create. It just
what sucks is back then people used to be able to draw just as well, right? You just couldn't bring it to life in a game. So you just had to be okay with it looking like a turd. You're like, that's not at all what I imagined when I was making that character, but it's all we can do. It's all it's all that can be handled by the system. You know what I mean?
So that's why we have to thank our Nintendo pioneers back in the day with the 8-bit. You know.
Oh yeah,
Thank you for pushing through. We know you
Right.
didn't get to make the game you wanted to.
right. Oh yeah. There's no way these guys imagined, Centipede the way it was. Now that's gonna be sweet. We'll have these little blocks that jump around and you shoot them. No, nobody did that.
Didn't happen. Oh, that's funny. Well, Ryan, what do you
Anyways.
got for us?
Crash Bandicoot. I just realized that was at me, so we'll just jump in there.
Okay, well,
If you guys haven't heard, Crash Bandicoot 4, it's about time. It's finally coming out with a sequel, and it's actually named It's About Time. And so that's I thought that was very Crash Bandicoot-y thing to do. This is a direct follow-up to Warped, which was the last main one that had come out before any remakes or anything like that. And it plays right off of that. I don't know if you pulled up the video to play while we're talking here, but it looks really good.
I'm sure everybody heard that sound jump there. Sorry about that.
You're good. It says that this hasn't been announced for PC or Switch yet. So right now, I think we're looking at just PlayStation, but we'll see. In the works, they said that the guy who also handled the Spyro regenerated or reignited trilogy is who helped work with the Crash 4. Uses the same basic platforming for the gameplay and matches up with the original title and the way it used to play very well, but modernized. It says in here that the art style has been overhauled for the latest systems, and you'll be able to play as Neo Cortex alongside Crash Bandicoot and Coco. So that's pretty cool. So you're going to be able to play from different, I guess you'd say, vantage points of the story that you've been following all these years. You get to play from both sides. I really liked Warped because it added, a lot of dynamics to the way the game played and the variety. I think they're just taking it another step further. They're trying to add some more dynamics to it and basically set you up for not feeling like you're just playing the same thing you've played before.
Okay.
It said at the very end of Crash Bandicoot Warped, the game sees Neo Cortex, Dr. N. Tropy, and Ultra and Uka Uka. Sorry, Uka Uka. That's funny. I heard it in my head when I read it. Finally escape from their remote plant. Had to say planet. I don't know. From the remote plant and return for another attempt at multiverse domination. Yeah, I think that was supposed to say planet. That's a typo. Okay, so it says, of course, you stand in their way like you always do, and you'll have access to 4 special quantum masks to bend the rules of reality. So basically, you're going to be able to wear these masks, and it's going to shape the way the gameplay is in each of these modes. So when you have the mask on, it lets you play the platform upside down with one mask. One mask is going to set you up to where you're slowing down time, and you get to still move fast and freely around the time that's been slowed down. Doesn't tell you what the other ones do, but these is going to be a whole new element to the Crash experience. We've never had anything, that would do those kind of things. So not only can you play as different characters, you'll be able to kind of warp the way it plays.
That'll be cool because here's the thing. If you don't know the frustration of not wanting to go fast in that game and then losing your patience more because you keep dying because you're not being patient,
that game just sucks you into that.
You're not excited for the time slowdown thing.
Yeah. It's understandable.
That's one of those over and over and over and over and over. I can get this. I can get this. I can get this. I can get this.
Yep. And then the more you die, the more you're like, I just want to get back where I was at. So you start rushing, and then you die on stupid things, and you just want to throw your remote down. Oh yeah.
Or you do throw your remote down, and then you're out of the remote.
I like their setup on this. The fact that they have kind of re-released some of the old stuff just recently, right? We were just talking about it, and it kind of get a little hype going for the game. And then not only that, they didn't go, here's a little leak. We might be working on Crash Bandicoot. They said Crash Bandicoot's coming out, and it's going to be released October 2nd. I mean, they just, boom, all in one, which is not really how games do nowadays. They kind of leak and play around because they don't really know when they're going to release because they don't know their progress, but they want to build hype still. And so I appreciate that for sure.
Ryan, I'm having trouble bringing up the trailer for some reason tonight on the source.
That's all right.
So
that's all right. You guys can go back and check it out. It's on YouTube. just check out your Crash Bandicoot 4 release. It's about time. And let me see if there's anything else uniquely interesting.
So you appreciate that? That's a play on words because this game is obviously Neo Cortex was sent back in time by Crash.
Mm-hmm.
So
Exactly.
the game is literally about time,
Right.
but it's also about time because it's been so long.
Right, and it's about time because Warped was about. Was that sending you through time or just different universes?
Warped.
It was time,
like,
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Time warped.
Yeah,
Basically.
time
Yeah.
warp. Yeah.
Yep.
That's
So,
where the
it's-
last one. Yeah,
It's kind of
that's
peeling
crazy.
right out of that. Just a second, real quick, be right back.
So Maurice, you should appreciate that because you're a pun guy. So it's about time.
It's about time, by George. I am going to share this link in the chat for everybody. So right here. Here you go. Maybe that'll materialize for you.
There we go.
Yeah, that's
There it is.
That's the link to the YouTube. And
Go
y'all
check it out.
You guys can check that out. Yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool stuff, man.
I'm back. My dog
Right.
was slamming against my door and knocked it open. I didn't want to come in here making a ruckus.
Yeah, my dogs do that too sometimes.
That dog's new name is Ruckus.
Next on my list is, we've been talking about, what do you call it?
Games?
No, Star Wars, right?
Yeah.
Going to the Switch and Nintendo getting a little bit of love. I'm going to be talking about a bunch of EA stuff that is going over to the Switch. So some people have already heard about this. They had leaked that EA was going to be releasing quite a few games over to the Switch. People, of course, have been super amped about what games might come that way and certain games they hoped would come that way, such as, like, of course, Mass Effect. Everybody's been wanting that. Sims 4 would work well on the Nintendo Switch, and Dragon Age. Those are three of your kind of big ones that a bunch of people were hoping for. Those three are not going. But
I like how that was
Yeah.
built up there.
yeah. Those three, they're not saying they're not. They're just not in the list that's been announced now.
Hey,
So this is going to be probably an ongoing thing
that's
of
just
games making the transfer.
that's just dirty. It's kind of like, hey kids, here's what Disney World has. Boom, boom, boom. You tell them everything, right? And you build up like you're going, and then you're like,
Yeah.
we're going to Six Flags.
Yeah,
Yep.
my dad. One time we were coming all the way back from a trip to Oklahoma City, and there's this huge, is near July something or June something. There's a huge warehouse, like firecracker factory.
Mhm.
He was like, "Kids, look!" He literally said, "Boys, look at that huge firecracker warehouse." And we're like, "Can we stop? Can we stop?" He's like, "No."
That's messed up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly what you just
Thanks,
did.
Dad.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Dad.
So thanks, Ryan.
Yeah, no problem.
You and EA
Uh,
suck.
But
Go ahead.
I just figured I'd lead with that because people that have been wondering, they're going to go, "Oh man, did they finally release what's coming out? Hopefully these are coming." And I just want to let them know they're not. There are other
Yeah.
games.
Mhm.
There are other games that are.
You gave him the bad news first. I like
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. But just so you guys know, it's not just bad stuff or not good stuff coming over. There still are good games coming over. So you got 7 games that are for sure coming right now that they've announced. There's some more that people are speculating, but we're not going to go over those because just like the other ones, speculation can only let you down sometimes. But the ones that are coming for sure is Burnout Paradise. It's definitely a fun game, and it's a well-known game. You got Lost in Random. I don't know what that is, but it's considered one of the top games that's switching over. I've never heard of that. Have you guys?
Not played it. Nope.
Okay. And then, of course, FIFA 21. We all know what that is. It's good old football. But obviously, if FIFA 21 goes over, then that means the FIFA will be going over there forever, right? And so that's a pretty big franchise to be moving over to Switch or to be sharing over to Switch. They're not going to Switch alone, but you guys get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The rest of them these are from it says a guy named Jeff Grubb put together the list of the other ones that will be coming. He's pretty much trusted information leaker / pre-giver. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And everybody says, if he says it, is pretty much a done deal. So the other 4 that are coming out, which I just listed 3, didn't I? Yeah.
Yeah.
So then you've also got Apex Legends, which I know they're going to be excited about that. That's a huge game to be going over the Switch. And you've got EA original, what's it called? Valen Studios. It says former Viserious Visions, folks. I don't know what that is. Never even heard of that one. So, and then you got Plants vs. Zombies. That's actually one a lot of people was hoping would go over to the Switch. And then Need for Speed, Hot Pursuit Remastered. That's a good one, too. So it's definitely not a dud of a list. You've got 4 or 5 that are definitely big. I'd say Need for Speed, Plants vs. Zombies, FIFA, and Apex Legends is big enough news in itself. That's quite a few big names switching over to you guys. If you guys are out there playing the Switch and you have these games that you've been wishing you had over there, well, they're coming your way. They had announced that there's going to be quite a few games coming over the next 12 months and even 2 years. This leak says you can pretty much expect to see all 7 of those in the next 3 months. So quite a bit of action. Let me see if there's anything else that jumped out to me. I don't think so on there. No.
So yeah, Apex Legends, that's a pretty bold move since that's an online-only game, right?
Yeah.
So,
It's kind of funny, but I was just thinking, like, man, I might try it on Switch because maybe the competitors won't be as harsh.
yeah,
That's true. But it's cross-platform, so you'd have to choose for it not to be, right? Isn't it cross-platform?
Well, that just crushes me.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is.
If it's cross-platform, then I'm not even trying.
Yeah, there's no winning that one.
I wonder if you can just choose to not play in the cross-platform mode. I'm not sure.
I'm also curious to see what the graphics do, if they're going to stay similar. Because, I mean, in consoles past of Nintendo, when they had something switch over to Wii or something, it just ran like a turd.
Yeah.
No, I think most of these are supposed to be mastered for Switch, so they're going to be dumbed down. Kind of like, didn't they bring over The Witcher, and it was definitely brought down.
Well,
it still looks good, but
there's games like in their own artwork that are beautiful on the Switch, like the Mario game I'm playing, Mario Odyssey right now. The colors are beautiful, the graphics are beautiful, but
that's just because it was originally designed for it. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So
now in this article here, that's basically what EA is saying. We're not just porting these over; that these are now going to be we're going to be working with the Switch more. So these are going to be titles like FIFA 21. The next one, FIFA 22, is going to be made for the Switch. You get what I'm saying? From the beginning, it's going to be made. Same thing with Apex Legends. Updates will be made with the Switch in mind. Things like that. So they should be made to run optimally on the Switch. That's what they're saying. We'll see, right, when it happens. But that's what they're saying.
They may have bugs or whatever in the beginning.
Yeah, I'm sure they will.
It's interesting on games like Apex, things like that are ported over to Nintendo just because it's more of a child-friendly base, compared to your Xbox and your PlayStations.
Right.
With the, it's always, there's been this thing of buying stuff online, this free-to-play method. We've seen in the past how some of their strategies, their sales strategies on getting people to buy these skins or boxes or whatnot.
Yeah, have not been accepted well by parents at all, for sure.
Right. So it's interesting to start seeing these games getting ported over to the Nintendo. I think it's good for the health of Nintendo because I feel like that's where the Wii kind of fell short.
Yep,
because
definitely.
they didn't have any of those big game titles. Whereas before that, Nintendo had always had all the big game titles, just like
PlayStation or Xbox. Yep, I agree. Yeah, we kind of migrated to we're just Nintendo only,
right?
And I think it definitely hurt their market share for sure.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think the Switch has only done everything the Switch has done. I haven't seen them make a bad move yet. I mean, they've really just been growing. And so I think that this is just they're capitalizing on that and saying, "Yep, let's keep this thing going. We got our momentum back," and they're trying to do what they can to implement to build up their market share. And I think it's a good idea, especially if these game makers start developing for them, just like they used to, like you were talking about. Then we're going to see a big difference.
Yeah, because we know Nintendo's got the quality and the money behind it. So yeah, that's good news for Switch players.
For sure.
So I'm bringing one kind of retro news, and I'm also bringing some news on Mixer on my end. The first thing I wanted to kind of run off with is the controversial gaming figure known as Billy Mitchell. I don't know if you guys know Billy Mitchell, but you'll probably know once we get into the story. You probably at least heard of the guy before. He used to hold the Pac-Man and Donkey Kong world records.
Okay.
Yep. So it's been announced here. It says that, and this is from The Verge, that the Guinness World Records has reversed its 2018 decision to strip Billy Mitchell of his Pac-Man and Donkey Kong world records, according to Ars Technica, in what is the latest twist in a long story about a notorious arcade game master at the center of the documentary The King of Kong, A Fistful of Quarters. According to Guinness, Mitchell is once again the first to achieve a perfect score on Pac-Man, totaling 3,333,360 points.
Oh my gosh.
And the first to reach 1 million points on Donkey Kong. But,
Wow.
but Guinness stands alone in recognizing Mitchell's scores as Twin Galaxies International Scoreboard, an organization that also audits and awards records, is sticking with its decision to not recognize them. Mitchell set the Pac-Man score in 1999, and the Donkey Kong score that he did, that was 2005. But these records face scrutiny after people in the community discovered that Mitchell set them on video game cabinets that were running arcade emulation software, MAME. M-A-M-E. Twin Galaxy initiated an investigation, and despite finding inconclusive evidence that he cheated, stripped Mitchell of the records. Guinness World Records had followed suit at that time, and then Mitchell ultimately sued Twin Galaxies this year for libel and threatened to sue Guinness. The Twin Galaxies lawsuit is still ongoing.
So basically, they're saying, hey, you didn't play this on an actual arcade box. You played it on an emulator, which makes it not run exactly like it originally did.
Right.
So it can't count.
There's enough tampering there, or enough,
Yeah.
So they don't count it as official.
Right.
Guinness World Records editor Craig Glenday said in a video released Thursday that existing evidence and newly sourced eyewitness testimonies, plus some new expert gameplay analysis and hardware verification, was reviewed before reversing the decision. In the end, we found that there just wasn't sufficient evidence to support the disqualification across the board. Mitchell, he told Ars Technica that Guinness' decision was a long time coming, and that he knew about this decision as far back as December, but the announcement was delayed because the two parties were wrapping up their legal agreement.
So I wonder if he's suing them. I mean, you don't get paid to be in the Guinness Book of Record that I know of.
Well, he was suing Twin Galaxies.
Well, he was going to sue both.
Right.
But what I'm saying is, what's he suing for? Defamation of character, for calling him a cheater? Like, what's happening there?
Falsely calling him a cheater.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Without evidence, basically, because it ruined his reputation. Okay,
Right.
yeah. I got you.
Yeah.
So I was going to say, you can't, sue him for losses, because
Right.
they're not giving you anything.
So, yeah, the definition there, it said that he sued for libel, which is a published false statement that has damaged a person's reputation.
Yeah, defamation of character. Yeah.
Right. So,
Okay.
So that's went on. So it's good for him. Some people may disagree, but, geez, the guy did get a perfect score. So, I mean, still, even on those emulators, it's really hard.
No joke.
Yeah. So good on him. We'll see if he wins that suit with Twin Galaxies and gets his name back in their books. But I think for him, it's more of it's
him,
big business. It's marketing.
And it's innocent until proven guilty, right? All of our standards here in America, at least, work as innocent until proven guilty. So you can't just suddenly go, I think someone said you might have done this, so we're going to remove you even though we have no evidence of it.
Yeah.
No, you can't do that. That's not the way it works.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yep. But on to bigger and crazier news. I was actually on the phone with Ryan when I read this article. I was a little bit shocked. So we've talked about Mixer. We've talked about Ninja going to Mixer.
Yep.
Well, Microsoft is closing its Mixer service on July 22nd and plans to move existing partners over to Facebook Gaming.
Is that crazy? That's crazy
nuts.
to me.
Says the surprise announcement means Mixer partners and streamers will be transitioned to Facebook Gaming starting as of today, which was this would have been the 22nd of June when this article went out. And the crazier part is, from what I've seen, it's just kind of a decision of, do we push forward or do we just cut it right now and move on? Is kind of the gist that I'm getting from several articles that I've read with Microsoft. Says here, Microsoft has struggled to reach the scale needed for Mixer to compete with Twitch, YouTube, and even Facebook Gaming, which has led to today's decision. We started pretty far behind in terms of where Mixer's monthly active viewers were compared to some of the big players out there, says Phil Spencer, Microsoft's head of gaming. I think the Mixer community is really going to benefit from the broad audience that Facebook has through their properties and the abilities to reach gamers in a very seamless way through a social platform Facebook has.
I think the scary thing is how much money they put into this. Because, guys like Ninja and stuff, they just literally, they bought those guys out. They said, hey, look, come over to Mixer. We'll pay you this much. Even though you're not going to have all your viewers and all this, we'll make up for it. That's basically what they did. So to dump all that in, and then basically it sounds like they pulled a Stadia. You know what I mean? Where it's just like a lot of big hype. Like, even if you go back and listen to our shows where we talked about Mixer, we talked about how much they were growing, how big, how well they were doing. We even debated on going over to Mixer and starting to use them to promote our show. And so then just all of a sudden out of nowhere, we're closing our doors. I definitely think it's a financial thing. They extended themselves to a certain point and realized we're going to go under if we don't sell and partner with Facebook.
And the craziest thing is they got big, like you said, big streamers like Ninja. They snagged Shroud. He's over there. They also got popular streamer King Gathlion. I think I said that right. He went over there. So,
well, there was mixed feelings though from a lot of fans because they said, "Hey, Twitch made you. If Twitch didn't exist, you wouldn't exist. That's how you became anything." And then as soon as this other guy popped up, you ditched him because you're, in a way, they were like Twitch founders.
I can't speak for all the rest of them, but I was pretty sure Ninja left because of a disagreement with them. Yeah,
he did. There was a disagreement, but it was still the type of deal where the disagreement came, and instead of, in my opinion, instead of figuring out how to make it work, he just found a better offer. Which, I mean, I guess that's part of business. But I know the fans had a bad taste in their mouth with a lot of the transfers that were happening over to Mixer.
Well, and just the way they handle it. So here's the other caveat to that is they didn't even let their streamers know. They may have let their bigger streamers know, like your Ninja, your Shroud. But if you were just a normal streamer, you found out when they made the announcement. They didn't send out any emails.
Right.
They didn't send out any notification. It was just like, hey, we're done as of July 22nd.
Well, that's just kind of how business is done nowadays, though, because if they did tell you, you'd put a leak out, you'd post on this forum and that forum going, what the freak? Mixer's leaving, blah, blah, blah. And it'd cause all this buzz, and that's just not, people just don't do that. Now they just, boom, drop the bomb, drop the hammer.
Yeah, but could you imagine having success on Mixer? You're starting to make your name. Yeah. You're at a point where you can possibly do that as your part-time job now, and then boom, you're going you either go to Facebook Gaming or you find a different platform.
Right.
Crushing.
Now that doesn't mean people won't follow you, and you might still make it. But yeah, I'm sure because Microsoft's been around so long and they're so well versed in how all that stuff works. When you signed up to them, they've got all the protection they needed. You can't sue them for.
Oh yeah, I'm sure there's legal proof on that.
I mean?
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, as far as the plan goes, it says Microsoft is partnering with Facebook to transition existing Mixer viewers and streamers over to the Facebook Gaming platform in the coming weeks. On July 22nd, all Mixer sites and apps will automatically redirect to Facebook Gaming. Existing Mixer partners will be granted partner status with Facebook Gaming, and any streamers using the Mixer monetization program will be granted eligibility for Facebook's Level Up program. Mixer viewers with outstanding Ember balances, channel subscriptions, or Mixer Pro subscriptions will receive Xbox gift card credit. Wow. I don't really like that one. I
don't like that.
What if I don't like your Xbox stuff? What if I don't? So, when I read that, I was like, ugh. Bad
No,
taste in my mouth on that.
That should have went towards like they should have got credit for Facebook to be able to boost some ads, do some kind of thing like that to help them promote when they get started.
Yeah, something, right?
Mhm.
So, or just a gift card in general, so I can go spend it on Steam,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
or go spend it, whatever.
Yeah. Or a refund. How about just a refund?
Yeah,
That's weird.
that cost them too much money, Ryan. Come on, bad economics. This way, they keep it all in house.
Crazy.
You're still playing on their Xbox platform.
We're sorry.
all
Spend
about
more money at our place.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this article on The Verge does kind of go into a little bit more detail of what the strategy is here, which is they say that the choice to partner with Facebook is clearly a strategic one that's also related to broadening the appeal of the upcoming xCloud game streaming service and its overall gaming efforts. It says that Microsoft will work closely with Facebook to bring xCloud to Facebook gaming, allowing viewers to click and immediately play games that people are streaming. So that could be a big thing for them. But, I mean, we'll see, because obviously we see what their dedication was with Mixer. Sign $1 million streamers
Right.
on contracts.
I mean,
and then,
they may see it as, hey, people aren't going to like this. They're going to think it's scary, but this is actually a good move for us, longevity.
Mm-hmm.
We could be wrong, and maybe they weren't going under or whatever. You know what I mean? And they just decided this was the best plan financially. Maybe they sure put a lot into the branding of Mixer to just close it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now it says here that Microsoft will now keep hold of technology that has powered Mixer and supported collaborative and low latency streaming features. Microsoft Teams will start to use part of this Mixer technology in the future to improve real-time interactivity and low latency streaming. And the Mixer developers involved in this will remain at Microsoft to help with the work on Teams. Applying these fan-centric capabilities to new productivity experiences will create immersive ways for teams to empower people, teams, and organizations to better engage in virtual gatherings at work and school, says Spencer, which is their, what's his face? Yeah. So, I don't know. It just sucks for the people that were on Mixer, I guess. The people that really got on board and wanted to support it. I just hate to, as someone, as we're trying to do, get out there and get your name out there.
Yeah.
You're trying to build your brand on these platforms. Right. And so it says here, though, that about an hour after the news broke, Ninja tweeted his first public comment about the shutdown. He explained he now has, quote, some decisions to make, end quote, and didn't give any more details about the streaming plans moving forward.
Yeah, so it's definitely not this is going to be an awesome thing, we're in agreement with it kind of a thing. Mm-hmm. You got slam bam, thank you, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
But here's a Microsoft gift card.
Right.
Yep. Enjoy your Microsoft experience, baby.
Which is probably
have to give him like a $2 million gift card.
That's what I was gonna say. It's probably like a penny to him.
Oh man. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he's kind of in limbo. Do you go back to Twitch, who, you're really kind of burned that bridge?
Yeah.
So
you were trying to make a statement, yeah.
Yeah. So as far as them trying to really work hard to nurture that relationship.
No, I think he's got to go with Facebook. He's just got to roll on.
Weird.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's crazy to see that play out, but I don't know. That could be good for Facebook. So we'll just see if he's willing to do that, because I feel like if he goes to Twitch might be like nail him on anything they can,
Mm-hmm.
And that might help evolve Facebook gaming into something that it's not too.
Yeah.
It might help it develop. So excited to see where he goes for sure.
Yeah, me too. Interesting to see what happens to the whole development. I mean, I think Facebook gaming has really taken off in the sense. I think what happened here is Mixer's like, we're doing this, we're pumping all this in, and then all of a sudden Facebook was like, we're going to do gaming, and then boom, Facebook blew up way faster than Mixer did.
Right.
And Mixer was like, holy crap, what the freak,
Well, you already have. I mean, you have a site or a platform that there's so many people on already.
Right. Yep, that's what they're saying. That
all they have to do is click a button at the bottom of the screen to take them to this gaming platform.
That seamless integration, that brings streaming along with Facebook and social media. And I think Mixer just realized it's too much. We were already going to compete with Twitch and YouTube, and now all of a sudden we've got this new beast introduced, and they're passing us up already.
Yeah.
So they had to do something,
Yeah, Facebook Gaming really threw a wrench in that. I mean, that would be like us having exclusive rights to someone up, in the upper part of Facebook and being like, all right, we're going to make a Delirious Dads section for Facebook. Well, yeah, we're going to grow, baby. We're going to be huge.
Mm-hmm.
You have no choice just with that,
right.
Because you got the Facebook marketing machine behind you.
Right.
So, yeah. Well, we'll see what they do with it, but it does kind of seem like Microsoft's plan is xCloud. Let's take this technology that we have and let's push it into this, this streaming route that we want. But I don't know, with how we've seen Google, it's just I don't want to say it's a bold move, but it might be a dumb move with how Google's experience has been with, with their streaming platform.
I think it's kind of up in the air. It's not going to hurt. The only person who's not going to lose is Facebook. They're not going to.
Yeah, Facebook's just like, yeah, baby, here we go again. Yeah. You thought we were done. You thought we were obsolete,
Uh-huh.
TikTok isn't taking us down. We got this now,
Well, shoot, just Facebook's marketplace platform is enough to survive. Mm-hmm. It's more alive and interactive and intuitive than Craigslist ever was. You know what I mean? By a long shot. And so it's like just that platform, because Craigslist was huge.
Mm-hmm.
And they did this, and Craigslist is dead. I mean, it's gone.
Yeah,
so
it's over.
I think Facebook is they're just smart. They continue to do smart things, and I think this is part of it.
Yep, they're gaining the market. Well, that's all we have on the news side of things, guys. But up next, we're gonna do the game review of Valorant.
Valorante.
We've had some good experiences in it, and we're gonna talk about that here in just a minute.
Order in the court. What's your plea?
I'm sorry. I can't agree.
This is the final verdict.
Do you guys need a down-to-earth game review? Something from a perspective from somebody that's, a dad out there struggling like you are, trying to keep life going, taking care of them kids, working, and have a game life. Well, that's what we're here for. And we're going to put our dad spin on Valorant. We're going to score it. We're going to go over, what we think of the graphics, music, the game, sound design as a whole, and just our experience so far playing this game. Now, if you guys are wondering what is Valorant and you haven't listened to previous episodes, Valorant is a free-to-play, multiplayer, tactical first-person shooter. It is developed and published by Riot Games, who is also the developers of games like League of Legends, which is a very popular PC game. Now, this game itself is PC only, and it went into early access or beta access on April 7th. And that's kind of when we started talking about it. Well, maybe a little bit after that is when it started gaining quick traction. And they went ahead.
The big thing about it is it gained traction not just as a beta, it gained traction as a serious esports contender that pulled some major esport players from other large games. We talked about that.
Yeah.
While it was in beta.
Yeah.
So that's a big deal.
Released. Yeah. The game itself was released June 2nd of this year, earlier this month, and so far it seems to have good reviews. The hype is still there, and the Delirious Dads has got to get a piece of it.
If you're a dad out there and you've heard about this game and you thought, it kind of sounds all right, but you didn't realize it's free, this game is free.
Mm-hmm.
So we're talking about, a game that's got all this hype around it, that's got, professionals switching over to it. It's got a very unique platform that we're going to dive into, and it's free to play.
Mm-hmm.
That's, if you're a dad, they're speaking your language. You know what I'm saying? Free.
And
It's a 4-letter word we like our kids to say.
Yeah. And another thing to that is it's pretty accessible as far as your PC goes. Like Ryan, he's playing on an older desktop that's, pretty aged.
It's not pretty accessible. My computer has problems when I run Skype, guys. I have to use Shadow. If you guys listen to the show, I use Shadow. I've been going crazy over the lag that Shadow causes, which we realized wasn't Shadow, so I feel a little bit bad for trashing him for the lag so much. It's actually my display. But we have realized that even though, we've tried a bunch of games on this computer, even games that are kind of like older games that have lower requirements, and it just can't handle them. It'll play them, but it'll be glitchy even when you turn it on low.
Mm-hmm.
And I play Valorant on there, and I've had maybe out of 4 hours of gaming, 5 hours of gaming, 2 times that it kind of lagged up a little bit. And I couldn't tell you whether that was internet or computer.
Or it could be a driver issue.
Yeah, it could be something else. But it definitely, when they said, the Riot announcers for the game, they basically had said this will run on a toaster. That was their quote that they said. They weren't lying. It kind of really impressed me. I expected them to say that, but I didn't think it would deliver. And it runs really good, which is good because it will not play on a virtual machine. You can't play the game on Shadow or a remote PC. So it was lucky that it will play on my potato of computer, and it's pretty sweet. It's an optimized game for sure.
So that means your NVIDIA streaming service not going to be able to run it on that.
Yeah.
I'm sure probably the same with what do you call it, Stadia. So
now I can tell you something that's interesting too before we jump into the game is the total download size for this game is 7 gigs. When you compare that to Call of Duty at 150, it's kind of unbelievable. Like
10 times more than 10 times more.
How is it only 7 gigs? It's crazy. And no, it doesn't have the graphics of Call of Duty, but it does look great. It's its own artistic style, very much Overwatch looking, right? Would you guys agree?
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's a smooth. I'm playing it on low graphics, and the game looks good. I'm sure playing it on high upper level graphics, it's just beautiful.
Yeah.
But let's dive into it. Let's start talking. We already are, but
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, with the Call of Duty thing is, for me, like Father's Day, I had maybe an hour to spare that afternoon, and my cousins were on playing some Call of Duty, and they're like, hey, you want to hop on? Sure.
Heck yeah, I do.
I go to jump in, 50 gig download. I was like, well,
all the time.
Going to take me about an hour and a half before I can even get access to play. Sorry, guys.
Yep.
So, but yeah, so let's do it.
What this won't play on is a Mac. We did have a friend that was watching the stream the other night when we were playing. He was like, I'm going to get on. It's free. I'm going to rock and roll with you guys. He jumped on his Mac. It is not made for Mac. It's only for PC that are running Windows operating system. Yeah.
Now, so we're gonna jump right in here as to what we thought. I mean, initially, the UI system in the game is a little tricky as far as if you're not used to things being very self-explanatory, then that might bug you a little bit about it. But we're starting to get used to the UI and figuring out how to navigate the system as far as how you look at the things you collect in the game, your records. Like, it does have a feature that you can look back 10 games to see, how you've been doing. So that's kind of cool.
I would say some of the things in the UI jump out as really easy, like better than some, which is odd because usually when a game has got some things that like partnering up with your friends, things like that, super easy and intuitive on this one. Even like your main menu that brings you your settings or exiting the game, that kind of stuff. It's just real simple. But then you get into the workings of the game and your characters, and then it gets kind of like, where do I click? What do I do?
What? Yeah. Yep. So me and Hunter had a little hiccup, and this is just to give people out there a heads up. I had an older account that was connected to my League of Legends account back in the day when I tried the game back in the day. So me and Hunter hopped on, and we were going to play together. Well, I kept sending him a friend request and trying to get him on there. Finally, we figure out how to do the whole friend request thing. We get that set up, and then we can't party up. We're sending each other invites. We can't do it. So I have to look up the issue. The issue is some accounts on the game. It's a glitch. They put you in the wrong region. Now, the only way to get put into the right region is you have to go to the support page and ask them to change it for you. Problem is, they're a smaller company. So you're not going to get an answer probably until the next day with that. So I had an extra email, so I just went ahead and created a whole new account. And it loaded me into the North American region where we needed to be. If you're not sure what region it put you in, guys, you can go to their store, click into that, and you can look at the currency for the microtransaction stuff. You can look at that currency, and that'll tell you where you're at. So I was not in the United States on mine. I was dealing with rubles. So
Nice.
Yep.
But is it rupees?
Yeah, rube something.
Rubles.
Yeah. But once we got in, once I made my new account, we were in like Flynn, baby.
So how was the game? You know what I mean? That's what they're waiting on.
Yeah, they're waiting on the big reveal. So to understand the game, it's pretty simple. It's 5v5, and you basically it is what it is. It's a tactical shooter. There's 2 different game modes that you're going to play. They have the standard game mode, which is it's a map where you have 24 rounds total. And the point of the game is you get a spike. One team has a spike. The other team is on defense. And
Which would be like a bomb to plant. That's your spike.
Right. So you have this spike, as they call it, and the person with the spike has to take it to an objective area. And usually on the map, it's either Area A, Area B. I think there's one map where you have A, B, and C. And you have to take it. You have to take the spike to that area. It's got a little. It's kind of like Overwatch. It's got a little outline of where you can plant that spike. Right. And so the idea is the offensive team plants the spike in the defensive area, and then you have to keep your team from detonating, or keep the defensive team from detonating or defusing your bomb.
Right.
Yeah. Very simple concept, but very in depth.
You can kill them too. I mean, you can stop them from even planting. You can take out the whole team, right? Elimination gives you a win. It is single elimination. So that's what it is different than your normal game. You play and you die, but there's multiple rounds. So on the quick mode, where you got all your extra abilities and all that kind of stuff, you're playing 1st to 4, if I remember right. It goes 3-3 and then a tiebreaker. When you're playing the regular mode, what's that called? The regular mode?
It's just regular mode. I think on ours it's called unrated right now.
Unrated. Yeah, unranked. That's right. The regular unranked version is 1st to 13. So you actually play 12 and 12. It's a long game. It's not what you're used to. It's actually has a vibe a little bit more, what would you call? I wouldn't say it's like the ones where you wipe everybody out. Wow. It's not a battle royale.
No,
what do you call it?
Yeah, battle royale.
It's not a battle royale, but it's got the kind
time,
of length
the time
to
frame.
the game like a battle royale. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're could be close to 30 minutes if it's an even game.
Yeah, it's 20 to 35 minutes.
Yeah, definitely. So it's different. You get in a game,
it's like 5.
you're in the game.
Yeah, so you're looking at it probably by the time you're done with it on a competitive match, probably about 45 minutes in one match.
So both modes involve the spike planting and then the spike. And then so the other team who is not planting spike, their goal is to wipe everybody out or disarm the bomb. The difference is that on the unranked mode, you have, like you said, 14 rounds. You also have to buy your cash out every time. So
each round on that, guys.
Each round you build money, and then you're able to buy a gun, and then plus your extra abilities and armor and stuff like that. Whereas the quick spike round gives you a gun to start with every round. You don't get to choose. Plus your abilities are full, except for there's one very special one that you have to build up regardless. And then, of course, like Ryan said, it's 1st to 4, so it goes much faster. So if you want a quick match, you don't have to sit at the computer for 30 minutes. So
Yeah,
Right, you can
there's
get a quicker
definitely some
game.
more strategy to the unranked mode, which will soon be the ranked mode,
Mhm.
and maybe already, depending on where you live. We'll talk about that in a second.
Oh, okay.
But the other mode is great for practice because you get all your abilities. So
Yeah.
you really get to learn the character. I think that's kind of how they design that. You can quickly try different characters and
point.
kind of see how the game plays, and you kind of sharpen your skills, and then you go and use your strategic gameplay in the regular mode, the unranked or ranked mode.
Mhm.
And to hit on that before we go any further, I was going to bring a news article talking about there actually is a patch that came out just today for Valorant,
Mhm.
and it's got a lot of updates in it. And there was supposed to also be a what do you call it? a rank mode was supposed to be released a few days ago, and they had delayed it. And they said that today, even with the patch, they weren't going to put it out because they wanted to make sure it didn't have any bugs before they put the ranked mode out. I guess the patch went really well already. All their return information went well, so they have released ranked by this time. If you're listening on Friday, probably for everybody. If you're listening live, it's already released for the US and a few other places. Let me see here just to make sure. Looks like it is. Well, I just saw it. Now I don't see it. North America, Brazil, Latin America, Korea. They are already released right now.
Okay.
If you're listening live, and then looks like the rest are going to be coming out at the latest tomorrow. So if you guys are listening on Friday, unless there's some problems that happened, ranked should now be available. Me and Clint were actually we knew the gameplay was called unranked, but we were trying to figure out how's the match placement. Are they still kind of ranking you? Are they putting you against people of your own skill? Because sometimes it seemed like you'd have a match where you just dominated, and you'd have a couple of those, and then all of a sudden you just get trashed. Like maybe it bumped you up against some tougher competitors. From everything I saw, it's just been random. From what I researched, they haven't been doing any match placement that I could see. But of course, in ranked, you will. That is how that'll work. It'll move you up and down, just like playing.
Depending Overwatch, the same kind of system.
Yeah, Overwatch. Yeah, and you'll have badges, things like that. I guess in the beta mode, the top tier was called Valorant, which I guess confused a bunch of people. So that's not going to be Valorant anymore. That's going to be called. Let's see here, Radiant. So the top tier is Radiant, and you'll have these different badges and things that go along with it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. The game has several different gun types. You have pistols, shotguns, assault rifles, heavy guns. So you have a variety of guns you can pick. Like we said on the Spike Rush mode, which is your quick mode, kind of like arcade style almost. You just every round you randomly have a different gun that it picks for you. Everybody starts out with the same gun. But if you're playing that unranked mode, you will get to buy your guns as you go. So when you first start the game, everybody starts with pistols, and that's all you have. And then next round, depending on how well you do in the previous round, you get more money. So if your team did really sucky in this round, the next round you're not gonna have as much money to spend, and you will run out of money, so you can't buy everything. And it all resets. So if you die, you lose your gun, you lose your shields. You do keep your abilities if you haven't used them in that round. So that's the only thing that doesn't get taken away from you. But your gun and your shields, they'll reset if you die. So that's
what's y'all's opinions on the guns so far in the game?
I like them. I mean,
I don't notice a major difference in the sense of there are some games that have some guns that have a little more recoil, but your biggest difference in guns is in the kind of gun, I would say. So if you're going shotgun versus sniper rifle versus assault versus handgun, right? Yes, those guns are different, but within each category, the game is really leans towards headshots. If you're good at getting headshots, no matter what gun you have, you can kill quickly.
Yes.
So that's kind of what I've noticed.
I kind of agree. I don't know. Between the Phantom and the Vandal, the Vandal to me does a little better up close to me but for some reason
Okay.
on range, it's not quite as
Accurate.
for me. Whereas
Yeah.
with the Phantom, I can get some longer range shots off, it seems like. But
Okay.
that could just be random chance of headshots, right?
Yeah.
But
Well, I
but
think the just to make sure I'm thinking right on the list there. You're talking about the very bottom gun, right?
yeah.
Yeah, that gun does seem to get long range. Almost, you can get single shot kills with that gun. Sometimes it seems like, I guess, with the headshot, but that one does seem to do a little bit better on kind of more ranged precision, in my opinion. I think you're right.
Now this game, you do notice the difference from shotties.
Oh my
your
gosh,
assault
yeah, it's
rifles
drastic
and your,
difference.
You know,
Yes,
I don't
For
know.
sure.
How did you feel about the guns, Hunter?
I like them. I haven't played around with a lot of them. I found one that stuck with me pretty well, and then I kind of just used it's. I forgot the name of it, but it's not a sniper rifle. It's in the rifles, but it's more like a marksman rifle.
Okay.
okay,
It's not an automatic, and I like that because I do like a little bit longer of a range shot.
Mhm.
But
Yeah. You have less of
other
that
than
recoil to deal with.
I've gone back and forth between that and the heavy machine gun.
Mm-hmm.
Just because if I'm gonna spray, I want to do damage when I'm spraying. So
Right. And
Right.
that is something with this game. When you guys do, if you do play it, you have to be mindful of the kickback of your gun, because that does, if you're shooting with that assault rifle,
hmm
I mean, you are going to start naturally going up, and so you've
Yeah.
got to kind of force yourself to aim back down if you're trying to get that headshot / neck shot or whatever.
hmm And when you're using the shotguns the same way, I mean, it's really drastic. You can't just
Mhm.
tac. You know what I mean? There's definitely pretty big kickback,
And
or
even
what
with
you call recoil, I guess. But
yeah, even with the pistol, I noticed if you're just tapping that like over and
Mhm.
over and over again, a lot of your shots you're gonna miss because that kickback. So you almost
Mhm.
got to let it like come back, boom, shoot, come back, boom, shoot.
Mhm.
But it's hard to do when you're freaking out.
yep.
I would say the shotgun too. It doesn't disappoint in close range. If you're a close range kind of hide behind the corner kind of guy, the shotguns have some major power, especially the second one.
Yeah.
But if you're wanting any kind of even medium range with the shotgun, it's pretty poor.
Yeah.
It's made for definite close range.
Yeah, and if you don't like campers, guys, sorry, there's some campers in this game.
Oh, it's part of the strategy in this one for
It's
sure.
made up. Yeah, there's corners around every one of your goals.
Yeah,
where
but
they plant the spikes. There's a lot of good corners to kind of camp up in. So,
mhm.
But there's
But
also plenty of abilities to counteract that
oh yeah,
as you learn the game.
always come from different angles too.
Mhm.
I mean,
Yeah, there's a
So-
good balancing act to it. I don't want to go into like great detail on each character because there's 11 characters right now in the game, and it'll just take us a while to go through.
it's like we said, it's a free game. Get on and discover those characters yourself.
For sure. But they do have like your archetypes, like you have Brimstone, who is kind of your archetype of he can push. He has these smoke bombs he can drop that basically cause a distraction for the other team. They can't see you.
Right.
So you can do that. He's also got like a missile. His special, you can do like a big missile launch where it drops on the entire little area that you pick. And you can do that from wherever you're at in the map, which is helpful. And then you have other characters like Sova, who, he shoots his arrow. He can reveal the enemy team if they get into his area. They've got another character.
They've kind of broken it up, Clinton. Kind of like brute force, like like your mercenary brute force. Then they have stealth, and then they have surveillance people.
Yeah.
There is one character that's more of a. There's not as many that are like what I would call DPS, like if you were playing Overwatch. But the one character that Clint just started playing, what was her name?
Raze.
Yeah, she's that way. She's just kind of a beast and does damage. To where a lot of them are kind of a mix between defense and offense. They're kind of a balanced character. I think you're gonna unlock more of these unique characters that are more one-sided as the game progresses. I think that's what we're gonna see.
Yeah, that seems to be what it's looking like. Sage is another one that I think you get her right out of the gate. She's one of the ones that you have
she's
right out of the gate.
one-sided.
And she's very much healer. She can resurrect you.
Support.
That's her
Yeah,
special.
she's support.
So that's cool. So, I mean, they do have some of that, but as much as it is like Overwatch, it's definitely different from Overwatch. I mean, you don't have anybody like a Reinhardt out there with a huge shield.
Yeah.
You're not fighting that kind of battle.
Right.
Every
It's
character's
not
skill
chaotic.
relied on their shooting abilities.
Yeah,
Right.
it's not chaotic in the way Overwatch is kind of like. It just gets kind of crazy, right? Because you keep respawning and you keep, okay, do we wait when we're moving in? And it's just kind of go, 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 go in Overwatch. And as you get better and better in Overwatch, it's not that way so much.
Mhm.
But this game kind of starts off and it already feels kind of strategic. It already feels a little slower pace. It feels a little, and once you die, you're dead. That's definitely a big difference in the vibe, right? So you lose, you're done, you're out for the round. There's no coming back and bringing that back. You lost. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's a different vibe. It's definitely, I would say it's the same art, same feel to the design of the game. It does not play the same way. It's pulled some ideas from different places, and it's very much a unique game.
Yeah. I would say it's Overwatch, but with a little more realism. They took the approach of, we're not going to have crazy creatures in this game. We're not going to have, I mean, Overwatch in a sense has like a gorilla and a hamster, but it's all kind of sci-fi. Whereas this is like much more, everybody's human. We're not, we're not getting too crazy with it. So it takes some of that.
People have called it Overwatch mixed with CS:GO, and I really do back that. I feel like that's really close. A good description.
Makes sense. I haven't played CS:GO because Clint was talking about that just the other day and wondering how it compares, but it makes sense from the reviews I've seen.
Yeah. This game is very much, as far as sound design goes, thumbs up on sound design. You really have to play this one. It's probably best to be played with some good gaming headset.
Sound. Yes, for sure.
Yeah, because you're listening for footsteps. That's what this game's all about. Because there's no sprinting in the game, so you're always running at full speed. So you're always, and when you run full speed, you can hear footsteps from wherever you're at. So
very loud from a good distance on the map too.
So you hold shift to crouch, or not crouch, but walk. And that silences your footsteps. Also, crouch does the same thing. So that allows you to sneak up on people. I like that. I kind of like that stealth strategy. But it does kind of get you into trouble if you're peeking a corner. They see you, you're already holding down the shift button. You can't get back, in time. So, as far as sound design though, I think it's pretty
I've
good.
enjoyed it. Yeah, it's good.
Hunter, any thoughts on sound design, bro?
No, I like it. Like you said, the footsteps. I think I've always thought that the spike was kind of crazy because it's so loud. Like you can hear it from the zone over. So sometimes I'm like if
nearby or not.
Yeah, you don't know if you're near it or not. Like if you're in the middle zone and there's an A, B, and C, you don't know if it's an A or C, which is kind of plays into the game. Like you have to figure out which way to go. But
yeah, you can turn if that's where you got to have surround sound. If you turn, you can go, is it there or is it here? But if you didn't have surround sound, you'd be screwed. You'd have no idea where it's at.
And that spike sound really amps up your stress levels because it starts out slow, beep, 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 and then as you're getting closer where that thing's about to go off, it gets faster. Beep, 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 beep. That bomb sound. And the thing we didn't really cover yet, guys, is on defense. You can kill the offensive team, but if they planted that spike, you have to go find that bomb and defuse it. So you can be in like a 1-on-2 battle. Yeah, you 1-on-2 battle. You kill the other two guys, and you might not have time to get to that bomb. So that really gets the stress going up.
That's like Clint has employed a strategy when he's been on offense before, to where I don't necessarily have to kill these guys. I just have to keep them from killing me for a little bit.
Right.
Yeah.
Till I get that spike to the point where I know they can't defuse it. And he's done real well at doing that kind of stuff. A little bit of distraction, maybe shoot, and then back behind the corner, enough to keep him uncomfortable with going and trying to defuse.
Right.
Also not risking his life and letting them defuse. So it's kind of there's definitely, as you play the game, your strategy starts evolving real quick because you're learning these characters and the maps. And it doesn't take very long to be from the way you played the first 3 games or nothing like the way you're playing this 8th game. It's just completely changed. But everybody else you're playing with is doing the same thing. They're all adjusting and learning because it's a new game. I've definitely had a lot of fun playing it so far. It's an interesting strategic style shooter.
Yeah. And you have a good opportunity when you die. You can watch everyone else play, so you can kind of see these players that have been playing a little bit longer than you. You see these new strategies. Oh, that makes sense. Oh, okay, I could use that. Maybe that's a detriment to Overwatch, because you're always respawning, so you're never really looking at what your entire team's doing strategy wise.
Right.
So I find that to be interesting.
Oh yeah, I've definitely learned a lot because I'll be playing one character and I'll see this other character that I tried and wasn't very good at. I'll see them playing and be like, oh, that's how they're using that the right way. That's how they're that ability to do this or to do that, and then I go back and play them, and I'm better already just from watching. Which of course you can get on YouTube and do that, but it's interesting to be able to just kind of learn as you go right there while you're playing live.
Yeah, and you can gauge that skill level of the other team. Kind of what you're playing against. As far as music design goes, there's really not a lot of music in the game. You have your menu music, but correct me if I'm wrong. There's really not any music that I can recall playing in the game.
No.
So that's definitely different. But
I like the way it marks your characters, which is basically if you see somebody, it marks them on the map, spotted. You don't have to do anything. That's interesting because that's what you would do anyways, right? If you saw them, you're going to tag them, so might as well do it. And then the other thing that I thought was real cool about it is there's no friendly fire, but all your abilities do affect your teammates, if that makes sense. So if you're using an explosive or you're using a wall or you're using like a line of fire, depending on your character, or a line of ice or whatever, all that stuff equally affects both teams, which is very different from most of these kind of games.
Well, for some reason, Ray's grenade doesn't kill anybody. It just so it knocks the team. So like if I throw it, she has this grenade that she throws, it blows up, and then it throws out 3 more little mini grenades that blow up again. And so what I've noticed is like if a teammate steps on it, it just blows them back.
Oh, really?
So yeah, so you can almost use it as like if you're good enough, you could use it to move your teammate if they were in trouble.
Right.
Like scoot them back.
But I am right in noticing that the other stuff does affect you, right? Like if you walk through the
some
fire
do. So
like that.
So like Phoenix, his little fire thing does.
Okay.
Brim. What was that one guy? There's another guy that Hunter unlocked that drops this.
I'm forgetting his name. It's
like
a lava type thing.
Yeah, he drops this tunnel
fire
type thing that's like a fire, but it stuns you. Well, if you're with him and you step on it when it goes off, you get stunned too.
Right.
So
yeah.
It's weird. Like some of the abilities do, some of the abilities don't.
Okay.
Which is a little odd.
Well, maybe the effects are real, but no damage. That's probably what it is. You're probably getting stunned. You're probably getting slowed down, right, with that ability.
But maybe not that.
But maybe not your health is actually moving. I'll have to check that next time we play.
Yeah, we'll have to have someone blow us up with some fire, and we'll just step on it and see what happens.
Yeah.
Man, now I want to play tonight.
I was planning on it, so.
Yeah. Overall, though, I don't think there's a whole lot that I can think of that we need to go over to express our opinions of the game at this point. But if you're a fan of first-person shooters, if you like Overwatch, don't turn your nose to it. I say try it. Because I was thinking it was going to be too hardcore for me, but it's actually right up there with Overwatch with me. I mean, there's aspects of Overwatch that I like more, but that's just because I like that style. It's really not necessarily a gameplay element.
But I think there's aspects to this you like more than Overwatch already too. Some of the way the way the game plays out with the rounds and things like that make it very interesting in its own way.
I think doing this thing as a full team, you're going to have a blast. If you have 5 friends that that are communicating on the mic, this game is like excellent. And Overwatch is the same way. You get a full 6, it's fun. But what I do like about this game that Overwatch does not do, and I think they're doing it right, is if me and Hunter and Ryan get together, we got 3 people in a group. It doesn't pair us with another group that has 3 people in a group.
Right.
Or at least from what I can tell. With Overwatch, it's always even. So if I team up with a group of 6 guys, well, I get put against a team with 6 guys.
Right.
And so I like that on this game it doesn't do that. You're not really getting punished for playing with your friends.
Right. Because it's going to automatically put you against a lot of times better guys in Overwatch.
Mm-hmm.
Because the people who play as a team tend to be more skilled, even though we may not be.
Right.
Right.
It's going to be a more even fight. It's like, well, sometimes
Right.
I want my dedication to the team to pay off.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah. So overall, we're gonna give it a score, and it'll probably vary between us. But we're looking at first-person shooters, team-based first-person shooters, and we're gonna rate this bad boy. Who wants to go first?
That's going to include battle royales and stuff, right? I mean, I'm ranking it against like the new Call of Duty stuff.
Yeah, I think all that's fair. Yeah. So, does anybody got their score in their head yet?
Yeah, I'll go first.
Okay, we'll let you
It's-
take the
This
reins.
would be a preemptive for me because we haven't played it that much, right? Like I said, we probably played 8 hours of it, so long enough to know the game and to know what it's going to be about. I'm going to give it an 8, which is actually pretty high because I've really enjoyed it. It's a little skewed for me because I've been having so much trouble with my lag that I thought I was the worst player ever because I went like 6 years off of playing any games
Mhm.
and then came back to gaming with these guys and just have been horrible. And then just before we started playing this game, I realized what my issue was, and it was lag, and I started getting more kills on Call of Duty and haven't even got back to like Rocket League without lag to see what that's like. But I'm actually doing well in this to where I can be the last guy standing and take out 3 guys. Never happens on any of the games we've been playing for this last
Right.
year. I mean, I've just been trash.
Yeah.
So I'm
And-
kind of skewed in the sense of I'm doing well, so I'm having more fun.
And this one's based off your accuracy more too, so you can
Right.
kind of see there. It's like, okay, yeah,
Yep. And so I'll give it that caveat. Now, if the game doesn't continue to release new characters and new maps, then it will fade quickly, I think.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
If they do well with that, then I think it's going to be a great game and it'll stay around an 8.
and I think they're going to push it just like Fortnite and Apex and all those.
Mhm.
Because I
Mhm.
saw when you log in, it does say Act 1. I
Right.
forget what the name of that chapter is, but it's like,
Yeah, that's what they say their plan is. I just hope it's consistent and all that kind of stuff. I mean, they've got experience with League of Legends.
yeah.
So,
And they've got like 100 plus characters in that game.
right. So I think
Yeah.
that'll be the case here. And if it continues to expand like that and you continue to see variance in characters and in maps, I think I might just fall in love with this game.
Yep, it all depends on that content. What I do like about them is I think they're dedicated to the competitive aspect.
Mhm.
One quick thing that I forgot to mention in the review part, not to get off too far off subject, this game punishes you for leaving for any reason.
Yes.
And they're very strict on it. When you start a game, you're in. There is no go to quit match. So
Yep.
the
And it'll
only
penalize you too, like if you're away from keyboard or AFK and somebody reports you for doing so, because people do that in this game because they don't want to quit.
Mhm.
And that's going to give you a penalization too, to the extent that my game, I thought that it froze, but I think it was just my computer locked up for some reason. Like I said, it's a potato.
Mhm.
We rebooted, and it threw me back in the game, even after completely shutting down the game and rebooting. It knew what game I was in and put me back in playing with Clint, and then still penalized me 10 minutes I couldn't play.
Yeah.
Wow.
after
So
that,
it's definitely serious.
yeah. So they take it serious, but that kind of excites me because you're like, okay, they're going to enforce their rules. It's going to be a
Yeah.
highly competitive game.
That's true. Yeah.
So, yep.
So your rank is going to be very real. You're not going to have anybody doing that, stuff where they back out of a game so they don't hurt the rank. They're taking
Right.
all that very serious, and I like that for sure.
Now Hunter hasn't quite got to play it as much because he went on his trip to see family. But Hunter, so far out of what you've played, what do you think? Where does it fall on your scorecard?
As far as competitive multiplayer shooters, I'd have to give it an 8 also.
Oh,
I
okay.
think that I am being hopeful for what is to come too. I'm factoring in, like Ryan said, the fact that there's going to be new characters, there's going to be new maps. I'm hoping that the maps kind of get more creative. You know,
Mhm.
I think they're cool. I'm not bashing them in any way. I think it's a very nice game. I think it's great, but I want to see more in the map development. And what we talked about the other day, how there's atmosphere, and you can build atmosphere by what's going on in the background. stuff
Mhm.
like that. And I think Overwatch even does that. I haven't played Overwatch, but I've seen that they have stuff moving in their backgrounds and
Mm-hmm.
they immerse you. And I want to see more of that. I want to kind of feel like, why are we in this map?
Mm-hmm.
You know why? And maybe that's not something that they are going to lean towards because it is competitive. They don't care
Well,
about that stuff as much.
I was
But
going to say it might be the potato comment of
Well,
Right.
if you
actually, I
start
was just
putting
going
too
to
much in
say
the background.
I read that they're going to allow you to have that or not.
Oh,
So that
okay.
is something that's in their plans, but right now it's built for the potato,
Right.
just like Clint's saying. So hopefully in
yeah.
the future they're going to allow on the upper level computers to even the animations of the explosions and things like that will be different for the
Okay.
upper level computers versus the potatoes.
Okay.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
good.
So based on what I've played so far, I'll give it an 8.
All right. Well, I'm kind of right there with you. I'm giving it 8.5 for me. Now, I know you're like, well, Clint, it's bare bones, but there's something about it. There's some emotions that I felt playing this game that I haven't had in a long time playing any shooters.
I agree.
There's some things to it that remind me of old school 007 back in the day. You know, I think it's the fact that you start out with pistols, so just you're going crazy. You know, so it has kind of that old school vibe, but then it's also this intricate, like it is the new shooter. You know, it's got those elements to it as well. I think they play to that, and then you add in that Overwatch type art style and that feel of the characters. It's just really getting me. So,
and the abilities, the fact that you've got these abilities is not just a shooter.
Yeah. So for me right now, 8.5. I'm having fun playing this game. I like that so far. It's not huge updates that I'm having to download. Now I will say this. I'll go on record as saying if they just pump out updates and we're getting a new character on a decent time scale, I think it would bump to a 9 for me as far as shooters goes. If I'm just playing team shooters. And I think for me, like, Overwatch has kind of been at that 8.5, 9 scale for me. So, I mean, this game's right there with Overwatch right now for me.
Yeah, I think it's got a lot of promise. You know what I mean? To where, I put it this way for you guys, if you want it simple, I think all three of us, if we were to say, hey, we're going to get on and play tonight, none of us are going to say, what do you want to play?
Right.
Because we all know it's going to be Valorant.
Well, we know for sure for Clinton because the other night he did the one more round thing for like 6 rounds.
That's how you know. That's when you know Clint likes a game.
But you get what I'm saying. So that's when something, we're not just playing it and it's it's okay. We're enjoying the game. It's a great game. I'm excited about it and hoping that they really keep pushing the pressure on changes and updates and all that stuff. If they do, I agree with Clint. I think it can be one of the pretty much the next big shooter, if that makes sense.
Yep. The only thing with it is PC, but the fact that it can play on other PCs helps too.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yep. Well, now I want to play Valorant. But that's going to conclude our show tonight, guys. We had a lot of fun giving you this new content, talking about this new game we've been playing. So keep your eyes peeled. Go check it out. You can always check it out on twitch.tv. Plenty of streams going live with it. See what you think. Give us some feedback. If you don't agree with us, email us. Let us know. We'd love to hear your comments.
Heck yeah.
For sure. All right. Well, that's going to do it for this week. If you have time, stop on over to YouTube's Fun with Rory. You can check that out. That's Orion's daughter's YouTube channel. She's got some videos for your kiddos to check out.
Yep. We've been on a stall. I'm putting some videos out for a few weeks because I'm working on this house again. But I'll be back at it in a week or so, and then we should be getting them on there regularly.
He's like, quit putting the burners on me, Clint. Jeez.
You are. Yeah, you are.
If you want to support the show, you can check us out over on Patreon. You can give us a donation there, a little sub action. That'll help. That'll help with content. We can put out more content and push harder. But if not, we're still here. We're still alive. Still loving it, baby. So, well, with that said,
stay delirious.
Stay dadding.
and stay gaming. This has been a Delirious Dads production. For more information about the show, visit our website at www.deliriousdadsgaming.com. You can also find us on facebook.com/deliriousdadsgaming, twitch.tv, and YouTube. Make sure you like and share our pages to help us grow the channel. You can listen to the podcast on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, and Spotify. Please leave a rating and review if you enjoy the show. Thank you again for listening, and we hope to see you next time.